ass eating, I think right now is completely off the table.
Oh.
Because I'm scared. I don't want to get sick.
You're scarred from the strap.
Like if I'm like, oh God, I really just want to eat this ass. Like, how do I know
that it doesn't have strep? You are so traumatized.
Did you know the Whitney Houston song "How Will I Know" is about eating ass?
My New York City weekly show is back starting on August 1st. Patrons get free and discounted tickets, patreon.com/WHGS, and my mailing list people get first dibs. So go sign up at ashleygavin.com or we'rehavingaysex.com. And also just an amazing announcement. I am partnering to do a huge fundraiser for the Queer Detainee Empowerment Project with Cool Hand Movers. Cool Hand Movers is amazing. The QDEP project is amazing. I'm going to talk about them in the middle of the episode. But basically, Cool Hand Movers is providing editing resources for us. Thank you so much. And they are matching Patreon donations and donating it to QDEP. So patreon.com/WHGS. Google Cool Hand Movers if you can't wait till the middle of the episode. And yeah, this is a fun episode. I hope you guys are having a great week. It's Monday. I hope it is a great week.
Oh my gosh. Very exciting. A last minute special guest. A friend of Kate. A friend of the pod.
A favorite of mine.
Wow.
You have
favorite
talked to me about Lou on several occasions and how, I don't remember why, but you have talked to me about how talented he is.
Funny, charming, talented, smart.
I can't disagree. I can't. Because I think one of the things is I come from a family that I would say, particularly my father, who was wildly antisocial. And so like that bled into this toxic humility that I've discovered that I have.
Toxic humility?
Yeah, where it's just sort of like anytime anyone gives me a compliment, I deflect it or I feel bad when I hear it.
I feel that way too.
Yeah.
But I'm also the first person to let people know that I think I'm a genius.
I also, and that's where my mother comes in. I also have that. I tell people straight up. I was like, no, I deserve the things that I get. It's like I've worked for it. Also, I'm naturally talented, and just growing up in this world, I just realized that there's so many people who are far less talented and charming than me, just like getting
everything.
Yeah, and so like, and this past year,
name them. I'm kidding.
Yeah, and so Donald Trump.
Honestly,
yeah.
Why is that not the ultimate inequity standard that we have? Because the whole idea is that like everyone has equal opportunity and everyone can pull themselves up because it's America and it's all equal. But it's like rather than showing the negative examples, let's show the positive examples. If you have enough money, you can buy being president.
Well, yeah. Again, the American dream is a lie, and so like I realized that like in my late 20s, and that's why the late 20s I think for most people are very angsty, and then it gets really sad because you think once you're 30 you're dead, but that's actually when things started getting better for me.
So much happens in your 30s.
So much better. Like there's these young gays walking around being scared of being 30, and I was like, I feel so sad for you, but also I'm excited for you to grow into an actual person, because you're not a person right now. You're just an amalgamation of identities that you're just like glomming onto, and you're just like, I'm this, I'm that. It's like, you don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
You have no idea, and you probably won't know until like you really have to make a choice about it.
Yeah.
And rich people don't have to do that. Rich people don't have to make a choice about who they are. They can always be like, well, this is what I want,
so I'm gonna get
it. Same thing with like hot people too.
What about people who've done a lot of work to make themselves hot, like in recent history? Like maybe
people who've turned hot.
Yeah, what about those people? Not that that's important to me specifically.
I do think people. Well, I also do think
Kate laughing just goes to show how unhot I used to be.
Well, I do think people who find their hotness, and it's not a physical thing.
Confidence.
It's
but also eyebrows. Eyebrows are a big part of it.
And I'm blessed that I've always had good eyebrows. My sister hates me for my eyebrows because she has to work to get them, and I don't have to do anything with them. I also find that if I happen to get my eyebrows done, it makes my face look fake.
Interesting.
And I like the sort of natural little...
Yeah,
you do have great eyebrows.
Some coming in right now that I'm not I would normally be upset about it, but I feel good about them today.
These are my normal eyebrows, and I really like them, except at the end of a long day, the ends will turn up like I am a Disney villain.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by
The end of a long day.
I don't know. I don't know. I just like
brewing shit over a cauldron.
I don't do a lot of
poisoning
self-grooming.
apples.
You're working that 16-hour union job.
Just
Why would your eyebrows respond to hard work?
No. It's just like I don't really groom that much. So I wake up in the morning and I go like this with my fingers. So I'm not really like brushing my eyebrows or putting gel in them. Do people
put
gel their eyebrows?
I actually do for like photo shoots.
Well, so all I mean is like throughout the day as I'm smiling and frowning and sweating, the ends of the eyebrows just turn
do you think
up.
that's from your natural curls?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do have natural curls, and maybe that is a part of that.
I'm not even kidding. I sound like a fucking idiot right now.
Maybe I have curly eyebrows.
I don't, because I've never met any. Well, I mean, I know other people with curly hair. But I've never asked them if their eyebrows curl at the end of a long, hard day.
Well, this is a new discovery for me that they upturn like a villain.
Yeah.
When do you discover this? Like, is it like you catch it in the mirror? Or?
Yeah, I would catch it in the mirror.
I think it's sweat and humidity.
My brother would make fun of me relentlessly for this feature.
It is pretty funny.
And that's where it is.
That's
where it is. It's just shitty little brother.
I don't have a gay sex story. I did everything to prepare for this except decide what story I'm going to have Lou decide. Let's do introductions.
Okay. Yes. We always forget to do introductions up top.
We are in the apartment. We are having gay sex. This week we're having gay sex with the founder of the Squirrel Theater. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah. I am a co-founder. There's 6 of us.
Majority queer, majority POC.
That's right.
Improvisation theater here in New York City.
And sketch. And we're trying to do stand-up, but we only have so many nights a week. This is inside baseball that most of these people don't give 2 flying fucks about.
No, they really don't.
The way my mom talks about comedy to me is the way I talk to her about like plants that she has.
Right.
And she's like, "Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Tell me about that."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. And then my dad's like, "Do you have a job yet?" And I was like, "Never." I was
and
like,
your
"I'm
grandma's
gonna die."
LGBTQUCB. Yeah, that's what it is, right?
Yeah. Never came out to my grandmother. Just let her die. No, thinking I was
That
straight.
is one of the beautiful
did
shared
that too.
experiences of the gay community is that we have universally decided that we're gonna let our grandparents die without telling them anything.
Yeah. I think like it's a fun, light relationship. Why ruin it by finding out that they're homophobic? Like, I don't want to know what level of homophobia she is. And I was just like, it's just fun being like, "Hi, grandma, you tiny old woman," and just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And she probably knows somewhere in the back of her mind, I'm or knew.
I would like to think so. But like when I came out to my mom, she was flabbergasted, which is odd to me because I was lazy with my porn. I just left it. And so I don't know what story she told herself.
Right. Let's go into the detail on that. What is lazy with your porn mean?
Was it paper?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Like
I'm seeing
hard
like
copies.
CDs just spread out on the coffee table.
I accidentally signed up to a porn subscription, and it was
I
delivered.
accidentally started typing in my credit card number.
Well, no. Well, the thing is like, listen, at the end of the day, it's a business and they want to market. But they also need to know that a large majority of their clientele are teenagers in the closet. Yeah. And so, but sometimes they don't give a fuck. And so I got a postcard, very fun postcard.
In the mail? Addressed to you?
In the mail, addressed to me.
As a teenager?
I was like college age. So,
Okay.
I was college age by then.
So it was like an appropriate age.
It was appropriate age. It wasn't like
like you were 12 being like, my penis postcard has
exactly.
arrived.
No, but when I was in high school, my mom accidentally like found a folder and then put it on the desktop and didn't know how to take it off. Like,
why did she move it?
Of just like a half naked man, and my mom was like, "Louis, what is this?" I was like, "First of all, how did you do this?" And then I lied to her and I was like, "It was a virus." And then
That's a great response.
Yeah.
It's too bad kids can't really say that
know.
anymore.
That
Can't
really
say that
worked
anymore.
for a long time.
That worked.
LimeWire, destroyed everything.
Yeah. Oh my fucking god! When you picked up the phone, naked men appeared because there was dial-up. It was dial-up back then. So like she knew, but she lied to herself. And I think she lied to herself because she knew how difficult a life for queer people could be. And she worked in the 90s doing clerical work and working within AIDS wards in the early 90s. So she knew a lot of queer people. So like, I never doubted that she would not be okay with me. That's why it was so surprising that she was taken aback by it. But I think it was like a flood of emotions.
Yeah.
And then she told my father without me telling him.
Oh.
It was literally like, I was like, okay, I got this handled. I told mom. And then I went to work.
Straight people really can't keep a fucking secret.
Straight people are fucking gossip queens.
I know, right? People say that about gays. That,
I know,
that we're
we can
gossipy,
keep a
but we
secret.
can keep a secret.
I mean, we kept one for a while.
Right.
For a minute. I mean, unless you're, you know, like, there's people who come out like in high school, and I was like, God, how?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Congratulations.
I got a message from a 15-year-old kid last night, talking about the pod and saying how these boys bully her for being gay, and I just said, like, I could never have ever even fathomed coming out at 15.
Yeah, good for her.
Like, yeah, that's incredible. Like, really special.
Should she consider going back in the closet?
It's definitely. She said
I don't know,
the
maybe this is
boy.
toxic, like,
No,
maybe this is-
absolutely. Because
Listen, I can't tell you it gets better,
Yeah.
but I don't think it gets much worse than where you're at.
Yeah.
Because she was saying, I mean, that's the whole thing. You have to evaluate your freedom to be who you are. Coming out is not for other people to tolerate you. It's for yourself to like be your full person and know that like some people are gonna be fucking assholes, and you do have to weigh those
Consider
things
safety.
when you're safety and financial stability and things like that. She said the boys would make take snow and shape them like dicks and then throw the snow at her, being like, oh, maybe this will fix you. So I gave her a link to an article that says lesbians have the highest level of sexual gratification. And I said, you just share this with them next time. Maybe they can learn something.
So you're writing her comeback.
So your response to them throwing snowballs was sharing an article like a mom? Is that your, you know what? Okay, let's see how it works. Let's see how it works.
If science, I was literally like, yes, that's what happened. Yeah. I'll just own it. I am a
Just
gay
welcome
mom.
her into your minivan, give her some goldfish, and say, you can't win them all, honey.
Yeah.
There are orange slices in the back. Let's get you to that soccer game.
It's, I first off, I do think that will be useful, but later.
Yes, for sure. But I do think teenage boys need to know that lesbians have the highest level of sexual gratification.
First of all, they don't know shit, and anything that you share with them, it's not like they're going to retain it.
Yeah,
and they're going to
that's
try
true.
to find a way to use it against you.
Yeah.
As a former teenage boy, we're a mess, you know? You grow up in a world that's like, okay, this is how you have to be, which is a monster.
Yeah.
And then you also have this rampant sexual, like, surge happens through you.
Yeah.
And then combine that with the expectation of what you should be, they're all fucking, because we're all, I mean, we all have technically different sex drives and sexualities, but throw that and lump that in with what the expectation is.
Right.
God, they're all terrible.
Yeah. I had, because that could backfire because a teenage ex-boyfriend of mine told me that I came too much. So, sexuality can easily be wielded against.
How did he justify that?
I don't know.
He just said you came too much.
Yeah.
Was he jealous?
What was his frame of reference?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I was the first person he was with.
Teenage boys are toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
He doesn't know. He was
no frame of reference.
His frame
porn,
of reference was him. And he was like, you're coming more than I am.
More than porn where they don't show women coming.
Right. They just show a woman screaming.
She goes, ah! And that's her coming. And then the only come that they finished, everyone, it's finished off with the man coming.
Yes.
And it's like over.
Yeah.
And then it's done with. And I still am unsure of what female sexuality is. And I watched so much straight porn because we had an illegal box. And that's also
for sure,
how,
yeah.
I was against sloppy with my porn because I would record it on tapes and just fucking leave the tapes around. And all the clips were of like the hottest dudes. And in straight porn, there are no hot dudes. So you piece it together. It's like, whoa, hot dude here, hot dude here. Most of these dudes are not hot. He's only collecting hot dude clips. My son's gay.
Your mom has the corkboard and the red thread in her bedroom.
Yeah.
Hot dude.
No, my dad's doing it. And my mom's like, Louis, shut up. No, that's not true. He would tell us. If he was gay, he would tell us. He's like, I don't know. I think he's gay.
Well, good banter up top. I feel like we're warmed up.
Yeah.
I don't have a story prepared. I did have gay sex
But we
this
didn't
week.
do intros.
We did not do intros. Thank you, Kate. I am Ashley Gavin. Lou, you copy the format. I'm a cis gay. Oh, and I have an intro for Kate. Every week I try to come up with a funny little intro for Kate, and this week is risky.
Okay.
Kate has been calling themselves the fat in the chat. I didn't come up with it.
I did come up with it for myself.
And the listeners love it.
I love it.
Okay. So I have a riff on fat in the chat for anyone listening, and if we don't like it, we will absolutely cut it. And I have a backup riff.
Okay.
Or intro,
and we'll easily let you know how we feel about it.
Yep. And it is a high risk one. So here we go. I'm Ashley Gavin. I'm a comedian. I'm a cis gay white woman. She, her pronouns. And then, as usual, the cancel coach, heavyweight all gender champion of the world, Kate Sisk.
Hello.
What do you think? You want me to do another one?
No, I like that.
No, I think that was
lot.
great because it's good energy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. If it was like a tepid saying of that, I'd be like, no, but you felt good
committed.
about it. Yeah.
Oh, I think it's a great one.
I liked it.
Yeah,
all gender champion of the world.
That's very good.
All gender,
Yeah, that's
all gender
fun.
champion.
That's fun. All right, it's me, Kate, the fan in the chat, cancel coach. I'm
they keep me from getting canceled. Is the idea. That's
why I have the whistle, just in case we get close to anything problematic. I've done this several times now, and I always butcher my own intro. My name's Kate. I'm a bisexual, lesbian, dyke. I'm white, and any pronouns, I hate them all.
And listener, write in. What do you think Kate's gender is? It does not have to be a traditional gender as we know it.
I would prefer it be one, like a combination of consonants and vowels that you feel works. And that should be the gender that you ascribe to our all-gender champion of the world.
Let me see a combination of consonants and vowels. Maybe I'm
That's it. That was.
I don't think there were any vowels in there.
No, those were all consonants.
Shut up.
I'm be quiet. And don't tell anyone. Don't talk about it.
I don't want to talk about this. I'm uncomfortable. That's my gender.
Lou set me up to make up a word.
You found it. This is the show. Yeah. You're there.
Lou really set me up to make up a word, and I literally said shh to myself.
You said it to yourself. You'll find it.
You butted him.
A bad improv.
Yeah. Kate's terrible at improv. But, most people are. And that's why people think improv is bad. It's just very hard.
For real.
It's just very hard.
That's why I am starting this episode. I'm still racking. I'm like, what am I going to fucking talk about? Do you mind doing your intro? We do anything you want the listener to know about you, basically. Most people do gender, pronouns, and sexuality.
Okay. My name is Lou Gonzalez. Gender is whatever. I love being called all pronouns, to be perfectly honest. And my sexual identity, I would guess, is gay male. Only because I've had sex with trans people and it was great. So I guess gender, what's the label? I don't even know.
I feel like that would be pansexual.
Okay, so I'm pansexual.
Okay. And gender might be fuzzy.
Did we just fall upon the perfect gender for me? Because I feel like it's fuzzy.
Your gender fuzzy.
My gender is fuzzy.
I love it.
I wonder if I can change that in the Instagram.
Maybe.
Can I put fuzzy?
I think maybe.
Bear.
I'm going to stick with fuzzy. I'm going to stick with fuzzy. But yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for being here. We're excited. I've had gay sex this week. I'm deeply struggling because usually what I do is I make a list of the gay sex stories and I present them to you.
Okay.
And I'd be like, which one is the most interesting to you? But right now I'm really I've had a lot of really good sex, casual sex. I'm out of a relationship and now sleeping with people successfully. And I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah.
Feeling good about the dates that maybe I'll just tell a positive story.
Yeah.
Because I feel like positivity is not always funny. You know what I mean?
I think you're a comedian. Because it's like positivity can't be funny. It has to come from pain. That's the only toxicity. It has to come from trauma. In order for me to share who I am, it has to be all pain. And that's not necessarily true. I bet you there's some great antidotes in there.
Yeah.
And I bet you there'll be moments in which you'll probably they have done something weird.
Who's a cheerleader?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's also my gender. I'm a cheerleader.
I'm a cheerleader.
But also,
I'm a fuzzy cheerleader.
Yeah,
lift people up. You know
that
what
is
I mean?
true.
And you are
Lou's an excellent teacher.
Yeah, you were saying that.
I got the chance to have you in a workshop one time, and it really, I feel like it cracked me open a little bit.
Wow, thank you.
It was very.
I hope that I'm good. You know what it is just my energy is constant, like mom. I'm a constant mom.
That. Yeah.
And so like
constant
I want
mom.
Yeah, constant mom constant. And I
the mom constant.
Yeah, and I'm just like, hey, it's okay. Why are you so upset? You don't need to be upset. This is stupid. Everything's stupid. Life is stupid. And so like it comes from nihilism a little bit.
Yeah.
But like it's like a sweet
positive nihilism.
Yeah.
Super empowering.
Yeah, because it's freeing.
It's freeing.
It is freeing because it's
nothing matters. So be who you want to be and who you are and have fun.
The thing that I tell everyone, and I have to say this to myself every once in a while, is no one knows what the fuck they're doing.
No one
knows what they're doing in sex, in life, in how we view ourselves and how we view the world. We all trying to simplify the world, and it's a complex place. So shut the fuck up and ride it.
Okay, well then I'm gonna do my happy story today. And maybe we'll find some fun nuggets in there. I have been talking to this actress. She's like a musical theater actor.
Okay.
She's very talented. You know, obviously when the pandemic hit, that was probably really rough for her, but really cool person. I showed a picture of her to Kate. And what did you remember what you said?
Oh, what did I say?
You said you looked at a picture of her.
Yeah.
And you said, this looks like the type of girl who would lick my taint and ruin my life.
Oh my God. Did I really say that?
Yeah, I think that's what you said.
Like
maybe it wasn't mine. Maybe it was
your. I was talking
like
to you.
Hypothetical.
I was talking to you.
How would the taint licking?
I don't believe that I said ruin your life. Did I say ruin your life?
I just like the implication was very good at sex.
Yes.
People who are good at sex kind of do ruin future sex for you. If you don't get to have sex with them consistently.
For sure.
Yeah, you're
I was at a party over the weekend and I told someone I went through a breakup and I don't remember how, probably because I'm an idiot. I like showed him a picture of her and he was like, oh, you know, you're never going to love again, right? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. She's just like physically perfect.
Well, also
and wonderful
you're
and
still
kind. We found the trauma.
Yeah, here you are talking about the breakup in this pleasant story about a wonderful taint licking.
Yeah, we found trauma. We found trauma immediately. You were like, I don't know if we're gonna find taint licking ruin my life. How do you think this potential person would ruin your life? Is it because the sex would be so good that once the sex no longer happens, it would be ruined?
I'm trying to figure out, because I'm in a place where I'm trying to put up really strong boundaries. When you're hoeing, I feel like the perfect thing is to have a person that you can hang out with who's like a friend who you want to have sex with, and you have to be able to keep it at that level, like friend that you have sex with. And the danger is
how does that happen? Because that's never happened for me.
Right. So I'm trying to have boundaries, like we don't sleep over. There's no sleeping over. You know what I mean? No like day-long dates.
This literally sounds like when Jerry and Elaine try to get back together in Seinfeld.
No. I don't think we're being fair. It's not like there aren't a million movies and books that have talked about this scenario and how it's always worked out. But no, I think it can be. A relationship's a relationship. Whether it's friendship or whether it's like, oh, is this a person I can fuck with? When lies start happening or when people start omitting stuff, that's when I think it gets a little, but as long as, you're open, it's fine.
The sex is really, we went on a date. She's like very femme and I really like femme girls. And on the date, she's like playing with her earring and like, I'm like, okay, all right. Like, like she's like,
I love that this is actually funny that like the smallest thing elates you. Your face is lit up talking about earring
playing
touching.
with her earring.
Because it's just like so feminine and like she definitely likes me.
It's very cutesy.
Yeah, it's cute.
That's why I do like it when someone likes you and they're being cutesy around you.
Yeah.
That makes you feel good because you're having that effect on them.
Right. And she knows what she's doing. We had a great time. Like, we're laughing, we're making banter, you know what I mean? And I invited her over and the sex was really good. She let me put my thumb a little bit in her butthole.
That's great. That's great. Just a little bit. Knuckle?
Nothing crazy.
Like to the knuckle?
Not even to the knuckle. I think maybe.
Like to the, okay.
Yeah,
so like a
here.
suggestion of
like
a
suggestion.
hint.
A whisper of a butt fingering.
Yeah.
Just a Butterfinger mini.
Yeah. Not a full Butterfinger.
Fun size.
I would say a quarter of a Butterfinger mini if I'm going to be fair.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Just considering just my experiences.
Yeah.
Which we've got to put this to scale,
right?
For everyone in the room.
Which we will get into.
Yeah, and we have, but the thing is, like, I really feel like we're building a friendship. We just laugh. We laugh all the time when we're having sex, which is really nice.
Oh, that's fun sex.
Yeah. Well, last night we were talking about boob energy.
If Ashley was like a prophet, she would go around spreading the good news.
That's the gospel
about good boob energy.
It
matters not the size of the titty.
What is good boob energy?
I believe that there's no one right shape or right size of a boobie. What it's really about is the ratios, mainly the nipple to areola to boob. And as long as they are in harmony, sort of like the golden ratio. I don't really know
what that is.
But I've heard of it. I majored in computer
kind of
science.
like the Pythagorean theorem. Kind of
involved.
like the Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah.
1, 1, 2, 3, 5.
Nipple square plus areola square plus tit square
equals good boob energy.
equals boob energy.
Kind of like the digits of pi.
Yeah.
The mom constant has to come back into this somehow.
Yeah.
The mom constant is how the boobs are affected post childbirth. I think the boobs are affected.
Energy equals mom constant squared. Didn't Einstein say that?
MC mom constant.
It really is there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
You know Einstein used science for titties.
Definitely.
You know he did.
Definitely.
You know, you just use your frame of reference for all facets of life, and I feel like scientists they just have not shared it with the world, and that is disgusting to me.
Not that they've already cured cancer, but that they've used science for titties, and that's not
They've used science for like genitals and like kid shit, and they're not sharing it with us.
Kid shit.
Yeah, if you're just like, oh, I'm talking about like sex and stuff like that with coworkers, to me that's kid shit. Because it's like, ooh, it's not, because it's light.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's like, unless it's like a friend and then you can have a serious conversation about it. But for me, if it's coworkers, it's kid shit.
I thought we were talking about children, and I was like, what?
No.
But we'll cut that. Alex, cut that. Okay. Yeah, and we were talking about boob energy. Phenomenal boob energy. She has this wonderful boob shape that's like both round but also a little bit teardrop, which is great. Just great boob energy.
You're describing this so visually, and yet I cannot see it.
I feel like I can see it though.
They're really good.
Yeah, that sounds like a great.
The placement of her nipple. Oh, fantastic.
Okay,
really
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, really
I'm sure
good.
she was enjoying you enjoying it.
I hope so. But she was saying she went off birth control and now her boobs are much smaller and she's self-conscious about it. And that's when we got into boob energy. I was like, big boobs are not it's way more about everything working in harmony. And then I was like, one great thing about big boobs is feeling like smothered by them. But like every size boob has like their pros and cons.
Yes.
And she started to talk about her sternum, but I never really figured out why, because she called it she was like, my snurb. And then she like was like, I'm having a stroke. Like, sorry, I meant my sternum. And I was like, snurb. And it sounded like The Sims. And we just started laughing so hard. I was like, boobs in Simish are snurb. You go snurb. And then the other person goes, nah. And then you can like honk the boobies. And we were just riffing.
You guys are having fun. You guys are having fun. You're snurping. You're boob squeezing.
And like we were talking about like a joke of like the little green diamonds like hovering above her nipples. We were just laughing. It was fun. So I'm having fun sex with this girl.
Nice.
That is my gay sex from this week.
Love it. A note on boob energy. You guys seen the movie Spirited Away?
Yes.
You know the like figure that follows the little girl around?
Yeah.
That's like my boobs.
That's the energy. Just
that's like a really mysterious kind of like
with the mask, the floaty.
Yeah, that's my boob energy. They're just.
I love that.
Except when I'm cold, then everything changes.
They get perkier when you're cold.
Yeah, big time.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I had a girl tell me that my boobs look perkier when my nipples were hard.
I have really big areolas, so when it's really cold, all of a sudden they shrink
and it literally
changes the shape of the entire boob. Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Boob energy, man.
My nipples are hard more times than not.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, and thank you. It does make it difficult though sometimes to wear. I was self-conscious about wearing shirts.
No, don't be. Nips are in, baby.
And that's the thing. I didn't realize that nips are in. And I realized that a couple of years ago.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Nips have slipped into the zeitgeist, one could say.
There's a nips slip into the zeitgeist. Well, that's my gay sex story. So let me tell you a little bit more about QDEP, the Queer Detainee Empowerment Project, and Cool Hand Movers. So we're raising money with Cool Hand Movers. Every dollar that you donate, if you're a new subscriber or if you up your subscription to the We're Having Gay Sex Patreon, Cool Hand Movers is going to match that and donate it to the Queer Detainee Empowerment Project. And the Queer Detainee Empowerment Project is an amazing nonprofit organization, and QDEP offers services to queer people who are coming out of immigration detention centers. So they offer legal services, health and wellness, emotional support, all kinds of really important things that these queer people need at a critical point in their lives. And I just think it's such an amazing project. I'm so excited to be raising money for them. If you want more information about them, you can go to qdep.org, where you can learn about volunteering and a little bit about Cool Hand Movers. Cool Hand Movers is a local small moving business here in New York City. You can get 10% off if you go to their website and say that you heard about their services from this podcast. And I spoke personally with one half of the couple that owns this business. I would trust her after speaking with her. Her name's Ashley, by the way. Great name. I would trust her moving my couch. And I think that's all I need to say, because I put 3 payments down to afford that couch over several months. And also, I just think that all moving companies should be at least partially queer run. How is that not a thing? If you're looking to move in the New York City area sometime coming up, get that 10% off, and let's raise money for QDEP. Patreon.com/WHGS. Every new donation and increase is being matched by Cool Hand Movers. So cool. I'm really excited to be a part of this project. Lou, did you have gay sex this week?
Actually, I did. It was someone I met on the apps.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool. Okay, so you're single or non-monog?
I'm single.
Okay.
I'm single. This was my first gay sex at my new apartment.
Ooh.
Christening.
Breaking it in.
I was breaking it in. And so I had this person come over, and I had it set up. Like, my room was set up nice. I was playing Spotify on my big-ass TV.
Nice.
And it was very good. And I bit their nipple too hard. And that happens. That happens.
I've been there.
You've been there. Where I was just like, oh, sorry. Because, like, you're gauging someone for the first time.
Right,
so
right.
The first time you're gauging is like, is this, I don't go
soft, if anything. I don't get hard. I don't get, like, really slapping around until I'm super comfortable.
And the thing is, like, that's what I thought I was doing. But maybe I was too eager. And then I had to adjust, and it was great. The person was very cute. Nice. There was a lot of making out, which is the thumbs up for me.
I love
making out. So there was a lot of making out in between. There was more than just a Butterfinger mini situation going on. It was literally, I ate their ass out for, I want to say, an hour.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That is like Olympic level.
It was mixed in between other things, but I would always go back to eating their ass.
That's fun.
And because we had the conversation, like, that was the vibe.
When you're with a new person, do you ever, because I've gotten strep throat before.
Yeah.
From eating ass. We've talked about this on a previous episode. And no, it happens.
I know
People have strep on their ass.
I really don't know.
Doctors wrote in and told me about this.
Okay. People. I have not gotten strep throat from ass eating. Maybe it's because
it's only happened to me once.
Okay, maybe it's because, like, I'm built to eat ass, and so I have the antibodies. I have the antibodies.
Built to eat ass.
I was built to eat ass, and so And so, everyone, it's sort of like, oh, how does Usain Bolt does what he does?
Yeah,
it's like it's genetics. And it's like, I can eat any ass at any point.
You do the 23andMe, and it's like, okay, more likely to be lactose intolerant, built to eat ass.
Built to eat ass.
I'm just imagining you doing the Usain Bolt point, just like at the butthole and then going in.
I'm always smiling like him while eating it. It was really great. It was very fun. And then they left, and that was it. But it was like a really great. And they were like, "Thanks so much."
You ate their ass for a fucking hour. I hope they left a tip.
But they also reciprocated.
Nice.
So like that happened.
Do you allow people to eat your ass?
Yeah, he ate my ass.
Oh, nice.
He ate my ass, and he sucked me off pretty consistently. And he enjoyed it. He said halfway through,
this sounds like a perfect hookup.
It was a great hookup.
When you say consistently.
Meaning, like, there wasn't much of a break in the two. He was there for like maybe 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
From the moment he arrived to the moment he left, we were at it.
Yeah.
And so I want to say an hour of that felt like I was eating his ass. Yeah. And then dispersed with that other time was making out, him sucking me off, me sucking him off.
I was going to ask if you can have
cuddling.
multiple orgasms, because I know a lot of men like need a recuperation time. I've never been with a man. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
And that's fine. For me, it takes me a while to come.
Yeah.
And I actually prefer to wait.
Yeah.
Like, I got edged by this guy, and we were on Molly. And that shit was
edging. I was just talking like Kate about edging before. Yeah, edging is
on Molly.
Really fun. I've never been on Molly, so I don't know.
He was like a scientist about it, because he was like, okay, you gotta take this, you gotta take that, so that like the next day you're not like. And I was like, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, there's a crash.
There's a crash. Well, yeah, I knew that there was a crash.
I didn't know you could avoid it.
I just assumed that you couldn't avoid it.
Yeah, that it was inevitable.
Wait, this is great information for the listener if you like to edge
I wish
on
we
Molly.
only hooked up once. It was a one-time hookup, but he had liquids and I want to say powders, but like
he was a warlock.
He was kind of like he was an alchemist, like all gays.
His eyebrows were curling up.
He had a stunning white beard. They had a whole thing. And the next day, I felt fine.
Wow, nice.
And he brought 2 Gatorades with him. I didn't know that was a thing, and I don't think it's a thing. I just think sometimes it's also a mental thing. Sure. I don't know how much.
He had a sponsorship with Gatorade, so he brought those along.
Yeah, he had an edging sponsorship. He had an edging sponsorship.
Built to eat ass.
He should have gotten an edging sponsorship because he was very good. He was very good.
He was like an edge master, like that's what he does.
He was, that was his thing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and I was curious, and I was like, let's fucking go. And I was like, wow, this was great.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is something I want to do all the time, but you know what? This is a skill that I now am like, oh, I want to acquire this.
Yeah.
So I started to do some of the things that he does, that he did to me, but it's not the same. But it's like, you try to figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
But that's a segue into edging. But yeah, that time with that person was great.
Nice.
We'll probably hook up again.
Exciting.
So yeah, very fun.
The only question that I have for you, you said you're built to eat ass, so I understand that maybe you don't have this consideration, but for me, right now, I'm not going down on other women, and they're not going down on me for emotional reasons, because I'm just like too fresh out of the breakup to like do that yet.
Okay.
And ass eating, I think right now is completely off the table.
Oh.
Because I'm scared. I don't want to get sick. I'm
scarred.
scarred.
You're scarred from the strap.
Yeah, I'm scarred. I'm scarred from the strap. And I'm curious, do you ask anybody specific questions about, like, if I'm like, oh God, I really just want to eat this ass. Like, how do I know that it doesn't have strep? Does your asshole come to
I wish that was a
you
song.
are so traumatized.
Did you know the Whitney Houston song "How Will I Know" is about eating ass?
You're so traumatized, Ashley.
You were shook. To be honest,
I got it twice.
Maybe you're not built to eat ass.
Maybe not.
Fuck.
Your parents didn't expose you to enough like cold germs when you were an infant.
Sad story. You're not built to eat ass. Well, I would say this. Also, it could be just a matter of having a conversation with people and just being like, get ready. Because I tell people up front, I was like, I'm going to eat your ass.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. That's not something I'm not going to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you have company over, if I'm like, I'm going to your living room, you better have your living room ready for me.
Yes.
Don't have like fucking chips on the floor and stuff. So like maybe that's the conversation. Like, are you telling them it's like, hey, I'm coming over?
Right.
Like, you know? And so maybe that's the conversation that
maybe
needs to be
I should
had.
just be honest, especially if I'm like waiting to do this with someone I'm more comfortable with. Maybe I should just be like, hey, I've had some bad ass eating experiences.
Oh my God.
I don't
think you need to go into it.
I'm going to say don't bring your trauma into it because then they're going to be worried that their ass is going to bother you.
Yeah.
And this is what I do. It's like, I love eating ass. And just be
I do too.
Okay,
it's
so
fun.
if you and that's the
It's
thing.
fun.
I think what's happened is you've had unfortunate experiences before. But it's like, you know, when people get into car accidents, it's a little traumatizing. You got to get back in that car.
You got to get back behind the wheel.
Okay? It seems like you got a license. And you got to use it. Because you said you love eating ass. And who does it? So I'm just saying, you know, put on a seatbelt.
I love it. That was the
wonderful.
best advice you could have gotten.
Yeah. No, that's really good.
That's perfect.
I think that also, to take this in a heartfelt direction, listener, don't let your past trauma drive your future experiences in any, whether it be ass eating or emotional or both.
And also be aware when it happens because you will get triggered.
Yeah. And part of managing your mental health when you're triggered is to have a plan to know like what you need to do so that you can get through it quickly and without too much pain. You know, I feel like we talk a lot about like, you don't trigger me, and we don't want to trigger anybody, obviously, but it will happen. Like you will get triggered. So it's always good.
In life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's always good to like, no, for me, deep breathing. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I didn't know we were going to go this direction.
No, but hey, listen,
yeah.
you were traumatized by eating ass, and there's going to be a trigger. You're going to run into an ass
Absolutely.
that's going to be like...
My father is also dead, but I struggle way more
Yeah.
with the ass eating thing.
Yeah. And that's your journey, and I love that.
Thank you.
Like, and it should be. I think for most people, you know, fathers die all the time. But... you getting strep twice from eating ass?
That's unique.
That's unique. That unique New York.
That's like getting struck by lightning twice. Maybe it is like lightning because once you get struck by lightning, supposedly you're more likely to get struck again.
Maybe because you have like lightning seeking behaviors.
Yeah, so maybe you have like strep seeking behaviors,
which is just eating ass.
It's not. It's not because it's so rare.
Well, obviously, I'm attracted to streppy buttholes. You know what I mean?
Again, like you're labeling. I think all buttholes have the potential to be streppy.
Yeah.
And to be fair, a big thing that we're forgetting is all mouths also have the potential to be streppy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Far more common, I think, is mouth to mouth strep.
Yeah, I agreed.
Yeah, I mean,
but the doctor told these doctors wrote in and were like, you can have a colony of strep in your vagina and on your butthole.
But also, what you need to understand is that scientists always give the worst news.
Yes.
Like my mom, worst thing to ever happen in my life was my mom was in the hospital for a stroke. Like she was
I'm so
in the
sorry.
ICU for, I want to say 2 weeks. It was crazy.
That's really scary.
We had our cousin who was a doctor be our advocate. And she told us everything over 2 weeks to hear everything that could happen to your mother potentially dying.
Yeah.
I was like, and that's when I realized, I was like, oh, it's just sometimes it's just good to be ignorant about it. Because imagine if you didn't hear from those doctors that like strep could potentially.
You're right. I'd
you'd
be
probably
out there.
You'd be out and about.
Just every ass is getting it.
Ignorance is bliss. Have unprotected sex, everybody. I'm kidding around.
Yeah.
All right. That's the name of the episode for sure. That you're built to eat ass.
Yeah.
Kate, did you have gay sex this week?
I had one of the best kinds of gay sex you can have. Gay sex at a straight wedding.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
In public?
No.
It was during,
it
was during the vows.
Yeah, during the vows, and then again during the first dance, and then again a cutting of the cake.
It was just the continuation.
You were protesting. You were protesting.
I was protesting by eating ass at the straight wedding. It was fun. It was like a fancy hotel.
Okay.
So, you know.
Oh, for sure. Did you part of like a block?
The block. Yeah. So you get the good deal on the fancy hotel.
Yeah.
And this wedding, it was like multiple days of partying. So
how did you know these people, if you don't mind my asking?
my partner was friends with the groom, and was friends with the bride, and then all four of us are friends together. It was really fun. It was an amazing wedding.
It was like
so because it was multiple days, I had to have multiple outfits. Yeah.
Wow.
So we went on.
That's very gay.
Expensive too.
It's very gay. Well, so we went to JCPenney during the Memorial Day 50% off sale, and then I also made Chelsea open a credit card for an additional 30%.
And that's love. Your gay sex from this week.
That's gay sex.
Gay sex. We signed up for a credit card that we didn't want or need and probably shouldn't have, so that we could buy multiple suits.
Yeah, that's very gay.
That is extremely gay.
JCPenney has some good choices, right?
They had like suit separates, I guess, which are a little more affordable.
I was confusing it with Macy's. I'm sorry. I don't know if
is JCPenney not good?
Look at you, trying. You did not have to say that.
No, because I was.
We would not have known.
I was going into my memory palace, and I thought it was JCPenney.
Yeah.
But it was not, and I was shook by. It was like that moment in like Ratatouille when it's like, whoosh.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, it was wrong, and so I'm not coming for you. By the way,
JCPenney, by the way, if anyone needs one, public bathroom.
Yeah, so it was really fun. Multiple outfit changes, multiple nights at the hotel. So it was very fun.
Were you feeling like gender euphoric in the suit?
I think
I saw some photos and you look very nice.
Thank you. I took some big swings, to be honest. There was moments where pretty much before any like wedding, I like will have like a dysphoric panic attack. Like it's kind of just like a guarantee. But I will say the like highs of feeling good in the clothes and like good with my partner and like good on the dance floor were higher than in the past. So
that's great.
It was worth opening the credit card, I guess.
Wow. You know what? New clothes does do that. Like when you make a choice on something and you're nervous about it.
Yeah.
Particularly when you're making a bold choice that's really speaks to you.
Yes.
It's a very vulnerable thing to put it out there.
Yes.
And it's like, what are people going to say? And truly fuck other people. But it's something that we all fucking freak out about.
So I made a bold choice. And one of the suit jackets that I got was basically like shiny.
Yes.
And I got so many comments on it, which like I think I would have felt good without the comments, but I think it was that kind of like confidence thing where everyone was like, look at this bitch wearing a shiny suit. Like, like, and
was that the comment that made you feel good? Look at this bitch wearing a shiny suit.
No, that was my own internal monologue. Everyone was very kind to me and nice.
They're like,
look at this bitch wearing a shiny suit.
Yeah.
There's like, I just want to say bitch. I love the shiny suit. I love it.
But yeah, I think it's fun to have gay sex at a straight wedding. The concept is fun. It's like, oh yeah, I'm at this like heteronormative.
Especially because like people know that you're banging. People are like, they're the dykes and they're
or they
banging.
Don't know. I don't know. What's
no, I
more
think
alluring.
they know because like
with straight
you're looking
people,
hot in the shiny suit,
right?
You know, Chelsea's looking hot, very femme, and people are like, "Whoa!" Like everyone knows they're in the fancy hotel. Every couple there is gonna have.
Also,
sex.
you guys were open mouth kissing the whole time.
Yeah, we didn't talk to anyone because we were attached at the lips the entire time. Yeah, no, every time someone complimented me on the suit, they were like, you look great. You're going to have great fucking sex tonight.
It is a thing, though. Like, if you're feeling good, you might as well top it off. You need a little cherry on top.
Yeah.
But don't you think that straight people... I feel like I started this pod being very like, let's include straight people. Because we do have a lot of straight listeners. But now I'm like, I really do talk like they're the enemy.
Well, I think, it's the same way we queer people look at straight people, I look at white people. Mm-hmm. And it's like, hey, listen, you don't know what you're doing. But also you're the constant villain to my narrative. So it's like with straight people are the constant villain to our narrative. We literally started the podcast talking about boys throwing penis icicles.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's it's not like it's not
true.
Uncalled for. It's like, oh wow, why are people attacking me? It was like, you're attacking first.
Right.
So and it's a collective you, and I think that's why straight people feel
that's the
bad.
thing.
Yeah,
you can't if you are listening. I've been thinking about this a lot because I'm writing some jokes about it. If you feel individually attacked by that as a white person, that's such a red flag.
I think it's an invitation for self-examination.
Yeah.
If you're and I think all of it is that there's a shame there. Mm-hmm. There's a shame, and as a gay person, I know shame.
Right.
And it's just you put it away. You put it away and you hide it.
Right.
And all it does is fester and grow.
Right.
And you're protecting this ugly little monster that lives in your attic.
Right.
And then when someone's like, hey, what's that noise? They're like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing. There's nothing there.
Right.
And it's like, no, there's something there.
Right.
And it's the same thing with straight people, and they're like, gay stuff is weird. The fact that they only look at us based on our sexuality, which is like, also like, please do. But the fact that like that is it, but there's so much more about it, and they should see us for the power that we have in terms of finding ourselves in a world that is telling us that we're wrong when we were 100% right. There's power in that, and straight people don't realize that because they don't know.
And I think also the power to just like not have to play by all the different rules, like with the way that we dress and how we flirt and how we interact with each other. Like, it's very powerful, and I do think that freaks people out. But I just feel like when I'm surrounded by straight people and I have like a significant other, they are like weirdly, I don't even mean this in a bad way, but they're like, yeah, you guys have gay sex in a way that they don't do to other couples. Like they're kind of thinking about it when they look at you.
There's like a couple there with 4 kids and nobody's like, they're fucking tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And you're But it's also like, I kind of weirdly think it's funny.
I want people to think how I'm having sex and who I'm having sex with at all times.
Okay, wait, give me a minute.
I mean, I pretty much kind of described it.
Yeah, we did hear about it.
I was built for it. And so, but I think that is such a great, I think that's a positive, like, you're looking at them as like being silly little children, because that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
That's how I look at straight people and how they view sex. I was like, that's why I say kid shit. I was like, when I look at adults talking about sex, for the most part, it's immature. Mm-hmm. I've never seen a mature conversation. And also, like, it should be fun and silly.
Yeah.
Like, I think sex is fun and silly. We all look silly doing it. Any third party watching sex is like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Any third party.
Oh God! And then when you become the third party immediately after, that hurts. Or like during, like catching yourself in a mirror.
Oh my God.
God.
My ex had multiple mirrors. I don't think I ever.
Some people love it, but for me, it's too much.
When Chelsea and I first started dating, we were in college, and I had one of the best rooms because the way you got the best rooms was through this like lip sync competition.
Yeah, that sounds like a liberal arts college.
That.
And I didn't even have to compete. It was like, because I wasn't like on campus or something. So like two guy friends of mine competed, won the lip sync competition, and then I got to just like pick the best room. Oh, so I had like a big
you
room
roomed with them.
Yeah. So I had like a big room with like a full bed. There was like a love seat and a chair, and then like the desk that they give you. So there was like a lot of furniture in the room. I was like extremely lucky. And when I first started dating Chelsea, she was like, we're rearranging this room. She's very good at it. She's extremely good at like placemaking, I guess. But when we rearranged it, the like college dorm doors have mirrors on them, and I could see myself in the mirror, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
I think I was like jacking off one morning, and I was like, ah! Who is that?
Not me. That could not possibly be me.
Yeah.
I get gender dysphoria when I see myself in the fucking mirror. I'm like, who's this bitch? Why is this woman, this mom? What is this mom doing in my fucking apartment?
I'm like, whose uncle is in my room? Get this asshole out of here. And then I was like, oh, it's me.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Well, I know you have to run, and we're right at time. Where can people find you?
Yes.
Right now, I'm just focused on this theater. So the SquirrelNYC.com. Check us out. The Squirrel NYC at all the socials. We're having shows and stuff. I'm slowly getting back out into the world and doing things. I'm trying to find my voice.
Yeah.
Because,
I think you have it.
I mean, I have it, but it's a matter of how do I package it?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're looking for like the right megaphone for your voice.
Exactly.
Sure,
I'm like, I'm comfortable being me, but it's a matter of how do I channel this in a fun way socially? Because I do want to perform and I do want to hang out with friends, but I don't want to only do it at my theater. The way I look at our theater is like we're a place in a larger community.
Yeah.
I think the New York comedy community, we all need to, especially as queers. We all need to just be like, hey,
yeah,
like let's hang, let's do stuff. It's like this is weird.
That's
it's
one
so
of the
weird.
best things about podcasting
Yeah.
is like there's a different mentality than with comedy. I've found comedy, I think people really genuinely believe it's a zero-sum game, and especially when you're queer, and I'm sure this happens with people of color as well. You feel like there's only so many roles, and like it just feels really weirdly competitive. Whereas like the internet and podcasting, like you're just like infinite opportunity space. And I hope that happens more with the comedy community.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it just takes a couple of people to just make that choice, and then it'll spread like wildfire, because I think that's what people want. I mean, we're desperate for connection in general, and that's why we latch onto these like toxic websites and apps. It's like, oh, but what if we just did it for real?
Yeah, right.
What if we did the actual connecting for real? Like, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
I love this so much. Thank you for so much for having me.
Yeah,
Again, I'm being a mom.
No.
I love this, and we should just hang.
I would love send you articles. You can send me articles.
I will.
You are welcome back anytime. You're wonderful.
Yeah.
And thank you for your openness. You're so open.
Oh, thank you. That's it.
We're done. Nope, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
One more time for the next month, Cool Hand Movers is going to be matching Patreon donations and donating it to the Queer Detainee Empowerment Project. And they're also giving you 10% off. Coolhandmovers.com. Say that you are a WHGS listener when you tell them how you heard about them. So thank you so much, Cool Hand Movers. And Gay Thought Time. Gay Thought Time. This one's a little more introspective. There are a lot of like program is not the right word, but yeah, I guess programs with major networks and like different festivals and stuff like that for comedians and artists and writers and things to apply for, especially people of color and queer people, and maybe just people who are not represented well in comedy. And we all apply for them, and we all compete against each other for them. And I've done them. I've never won one because the whole thing is rigged. But like, I sound like Donald Trump. If I don't win, it's rigged. It's rigged. It's fake news. It's fake stand-up comedy. We all hate them, and it's supposed to be like an opportunity for artists who are not adequately represented in the field to like have opportunity, but it's always a competition and only a few get it. And they should just be like, instead of like making us do that, they should just be properly representing us. And also, I've just always found that they want to find what they think America wants in a queer person or a person of color that's going to be on their TV or writing for their late night shows or whatever. That's what they want, the image of the palatable minority. And it's so frustrating because that person doesn't exist. The perfect minority is a whitewashed or a straightwashed or a cis-washed version of who queer people actually are. I hate it so much, and what I'm trying to do with this podcast is represent different types of people just as they are and let them bring the stories that they want to bring and the stories that I want to bring. And imagine that it resonates with all you guys, and it resonates with straight people. So that's what I'm going to keep trying to do with my comedy and art and shit. And thank you for supporting me. Yeah. All right, let's read some Patreon donations. Matching those donations for the QDEP project, we have Cool Hand Movers helping us out with editing services for the next month. Let's pull these up right now. Thank you guys for donating. You get free tickets, you get bonus content, bonus episodes, uncut video episodes, stand-up comedy, all kinds of cool stuff because you're donating. So thank you so much. We're just taking a second to pull it up. On Instagram, we have Be the Best Bob. On Instagram, we have Caitlin Lane. On Instagram, we have Meanie, Meaney. On Instagram, we have Kate_Brent. On Instagram, we have Maddie.mo2. On Instagram, we have Ray K. Ray Bill. The first Ray is AE. The second Ray is AY. On Instagram, we have Avery_8719. On TikTok, we have The Real Grace. On Instagram, we have Avery0420. On Instagram, we have Chancey.c. Chancey is spelled Chancie. On Instagram, we have D.Anya. On Instagram, we have Apsurdna, APSURDNA. On Instagram, we have Danielle.in.co. On Instagram, we have Hannah21Victoria. On Instagram, we have Bella Rindoni. On TikTok, we have Jay Missing. On Instagram, we have love_lots, lots with a Z, love without the E. On Twitter, we have Iconic Indigo. On Instagram, we have Marissa Celine. On Instagram, we have Little Northbird. On Instagram, we have Hannah Shields_. And I think that's all we have time for today. Thank you guys so much for donating. There's a lot of these shout outs to get through. So if you're listening, just keep listening. You'll get yours. Shoot me a message on Patreon. If you don't, look at you. Look at you, you little cutie. You're a little cutie. Yeah. You have a great week, you little cutie.